presentation is Kevin Lindegaard, who is the Director of Crop Serenity. And Kevin, again, is involved in the CHC Extreme project, but also part of another of the projects in the same family as Biomass Connect, Envirocrops. So Kevin is going to describe the Envirocrops web app and as a revolutionary digital tool. Over to you.
Thank you. I know you're hungry, so am I. But think of this as a tasty hors d'oeuvre for what lies beyond, because I would like to think after hearing me speak, you'll be licking your lips with the potentials from what Envirocrops can bring. Now, we ask a lot of our farmers. We're expecting them to produce food. We're expecting them to do it with increased efficiency, reducing the cost so it's affordable for us. They have to stay profitable themselves. Obviously, we want them to diversify, so it brings in increased biodiversity and things like that. But also, we want them to be custodians of the environment in terms of reducing CO2 emissions, nitrate, and other water pollution and things like that. All the while, whilst we've got a raging climate change going on, and we're reducing the sort of products that they can put on the land, it's a really, really difficult to ask, but we're expecting it of them. Now, one of the things I've been involved in for a long time is biomass crops, and they are part of the toolkit of measures that we need in order to help farmers and help the climate going forward. So we've developed or developing Envirocrops, which is a web app, which will help decision making going forward. At the moment, and before Biomass Connect, certainly, the amount of information that was out there is kind of difficult to come by. It's very much a case of you do your research yourself and then you're not sure, or you ask someone like myself to do a feasibility study that has a price tag, and then you can go to, say, a farm walk or something like that, but that might be when you're being sold something. Do you know if that's the right crop for your land, your facilities, your lifestyle, whatever? So it's difficult. So it's a little bit of a sort of confused.com sort of scenario. And it's actually very, very difficult. This is the typical steps in a feasibility study that I might produce. Say for someone who's wanting to produce a biomass crop for their biomass boiler. So loads and loads of things to ask. And as a result of that, you end up with quite a tome as a result of it, a report that can be maybe, I don't know, 50 or 60 pages. That one there is an example of one that was done just after COVID and just before Ukraine, the war in Ukraine. Those sort of global geopolitical things affect everything, but a report is a snapshot in time. So anything that is written down is kind of right for the moment that is handed to the end user. But that doesn't give any agility to change your view next week or the week after or next year. So you need something like that that's going to help. So what we want to do is embrace the digital revolution, things that have bypassed us until now, but we take for granted in modern living. So if you imagine when you're doing your insurance or your broadband, you go to compare the market. You want to know who won the FA Cup in 1957. You go to Wikipedia, instant answers. If you want to know a trader that's going to do a good job, you go to Check a Trade or similar. If you want something at the cheapest price and you want to get a bargain and you want it all in one place, you'll go to Amazon or something like that. And if you want to search for anything, you'll go to Google. Now, if you're looking at Envirocrops, an environmental crop option, how about creating something like that that provides you and gets you right to the nub of the argument immediately? So you can find the seed producer, the agronomist, you can find the person who changes your boiler meter, all in one place without having to surf the World Wide Web through Google. That's what we're trying to do with Envirocrops. And it will have all the answers to the nitty-gritty questions that you have, and you'll be able to look on your phone whilst you're on the bus, on the tube, or something like that, and come up with the first pre-feasibility and get rid of all of the chaff. So you're just looking at the best options for your land, and if you're in a trader or in the marketplace, you'll be able to find what's out there as well. At the moment, we are dealing with these biomass crops, these perennial energy crops, so William miscanthus, eucalyptus and poplar, novel energy crops like reed, canary grass, cedar, and then hemp as well. We're bringing all of those together. But the reason why we've gone for the name Envirocrops is that any crop with environmental credentials can find its way onto this. So we're part of the CHC ×3 project as well. So we're bringing in fodders, cover crops. We'll be bringing in hemp, as I mentioned, flax, all of these things. But the sky's the limit. Anything that can be grown can find its way onto this app because we're building the templates to help you make those decisions. So we've got an alpha release out. We've been doing this for 15 months. So we've got the bones of something. We've got 2 crops on there at the moment, SRC willow and miscanthus. So you can crunch the numbers there. Soon we'll have reed, canary grass, we'll have short rotation forestry, eucalyptus, poplar, and then hemp probably by next March. Envirocrops.com is the website. Please go there. Please have a look at it. One of the things that is really important is to train the next generation and people that really don't have a clue. Because let's face it, no one has got the time to read a 60-page best practice guidelines for a crop. You want to get to the nub of the information. We've created a game, a STEM game, science, technology, engineering and maths, that will help the next generation of decision makers. And those actually could be farmers of today that think, actually, I'm quite interested, but I don't know anything about it. In maybe 30 minutes, 3 goes at this game called Tropper that we created. You will know all of the do's, all of the don'ts. You will be able to play with money that isn't yours because it's just part of the game, and you will make all the mistakes. And within 30 minutes, you will go from biomass rookie to biomass expert, guaranteed. And I hope you all have a go at it. But what we've done is included lovely animations, and there's bird sounds, and we've got sort of the spin the wheel so you can select where you are in the country. We've got lovely bunny rabbits and deer and other things going across the screen. The harvester comes along. To do that.
The pointer's in the middle, I think.
Is it? Oh, fancy. So yes, get me back to the slide. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you'll see that your balance goes down at first and then goes up. Your tonnage, you're supposed to get 800 tons in 10 years to win the game. You'll see the year goes across there. So you've got 10 years to do it. You can have things like beetles that come in because you made the wrong decision about monoculture or mixture. You've got climate change jeopardies, things that can go right or wrong. So flooding or drought or a new incentive scheme or improved growing conditions because you've made the right choice going forward. We've got animations for flooding and things like that to come in. All of these are fun. Here also, you've got this ask, help me decide. And you can either spend some money, some of your budget here, on a consultant, or you can ask your neighbour. The neighbour's advice tends to be a bit sort of flaky. I don't know. This is what I would do, sort of thing. So you take your money, you get your choice, etc. And it should be really good fun. It's the sort of thing that you could do in the office amongst your friends, try and get the highest score, etc. So all these sort of things. And then mostly everyone loses first time. By the 3rd time they win. So it's a great way of training people, especially agricultural students. So Envirocrops, this is what it's looking like. We've got a nice dashboard there. And you just get started. You put in your sort of user requirements, really. But we're also producing best practice guidelines. So we've got them there for switchgrass, poplar, eucalyptus already. These are the things that we're starting with, but this is just because we're building the templates. So for instance, if you wanted to heat a property, or if you're just wanting to produce for a market, or if you're a power station or an end user, say a local authority, whatever, you can choose the pathway that works for you. Mostly it's all based on energy at the moment, because that's easy and we've got lots of numbers for that. And what you'll find is you'll get the sort of crop options on the dashboard, and you'll get this sort of production cost or the cost per ton. Each of these sort of things you can dive down into the cash flow, into the production capabilities when it will reach that sort of that production figure, etc. And you can edit your the details if you think, oh, it's going to be different in my neck of the woods, the contract price is different, or the price that I'm getting from the market, you can change it. So a really agile system. As I said, alpha release at the moment, but we've got another 18 months before we go commercial. Again, you can do all of these sort of editing jobs. So coming soon, more crops, as I mentioned, we're going to have a digital directory. Now, this is why it should be interesting to virtually everyone here, because my own business, one-man band, lots of other businesses, no doubt, one-man bands as well, probably fairly low rankings on Google. This would get you high rankings on Envirocrops, because you could get on that digital directory, and if someone wants premium crops, or someone wants hemp, or someone wants whatever, you know, a willow in my case, they will get straight to me, and that's really, really fantastic. We're going to be bringing in the outputs from CHC ×3, so lots of carbon stuff, lots of other crops, as I mentioned. This marketplace, you will be able to sell your wares. You will be able to say, this is what I want. I would love 1,000 tons of willow. Has anyone got it? You can find it. So it's a bit like eBay on that respect. You can, you know, you can be buyer or seller. We're going to bring in other sort of environmental calculators. So sizing a plantation based on water improvement. So there's a Biomass Connect webinar next week, which is all about water quality improvement. So, but if you've got a nitrate vulnerable zone, what plantation size would you need to deal with that level of N, P, and K, say? We'll be dealing with the carbon calculation. It's all a little bit of a Wild West scenario, but we're going to try and bring transparency to this, because this is backed by the government, backed by academia. It's going to be a not-for-profit thing. You know, we're going to play a straight bat on that. Fodder calculators and bedding calculators. So really just widening it as far as possible. And anyone who brings something to the table will incorporate it going forward. So why should you be interested? If you need fuel for, say, a boiler, or if you've got land already, you could work out how much land you need, or how much you need to buy if you want to replace, say, wood chip, which is, the price is going up all the time. You might want to replace it by commissioning a local farmer to grow it for you. Biomass supplier might need to think, you know, it's difficult to get my hands on all of the wood chip I want, because again, fibre is in short demand. We could get it from farmers, and how much do we need? How much land? And what do we commission, etc. You can work it all out. Consultants can train, carbon traders can learn, agriculture students who are making those decisions tomorrow will be upskilled. As I mentioned, small companies will be able to present their wares, be it however small. They might be a big seed company, but they might be selling reed canary grass seed. Put it on here. Think of it like LinkedIn as well, because everyone wants to be on LinkedIn just in case. So even if you've got high SEO rankings, get onto Envirocrops, you will get extra business, extra traction in the market. There's nothing to lose. The first year, it will be completely free. Thereafter, there will be a transaction charge, etc. And then, of course, one of the things that's really gilt-edged for me, I've been in this game for 30 years, we don't get many incentives. We're not part of any of the schemes at the moment, but the penny is dropping with DEFRA and other evolved policymakers. What we want to do is to use this valuable tool to help them with farmers to do focus groups to make sure that farmers will embrace the change, because farmers are going to do cows and wheat until something is a no-brainer. And how do you know if it's a no-brainer? You put it through, you crunch the numbers, and they will tell you as part of those focus groups if it's going to make them change. If the numbers add up, farmers will run to these things, be they oil crops, willow, hemp, whatever. We are going to start running training seminars because we need to get as much information as possible in terms of what works, because there's no point in making something that I think is brilliant if no one uses it. It's got to be workable for the biomass rookie and the biomass expert. So we're going to be targeting these sort of people. At the moment, you can go on there, you can play the game, you can use the app, and you can provide feedback. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much for your attention. I really hope that over the next few years, you'll start to see this thing. And what we want is a snowball effect, because most people should hopefully come to us and start working with us, because why would you want to work against or be competing? So let's get together, because this could be something huge, not only for farmers, but also from a climate change point of view, not only in the UK, but abroad, everywhere, because this is part of the digital revolution. So hopefully, I'd love to think that in 20 years' time, you think, I was there right at the start when Kevin was talking about it. So enjoy your lunch, and I won't hold you any further. Thank you.